Good morning, monkeys. Welcome to another installment of Coaster Monkey Studios, where we're bringing you the RCT CLASSIC series for iPad. Deep in the woods now. We are building the rest of the first portion. So it would be the second part of the first part. You know what I mean. Continuing on our build from earlier in the week, last week, where we're completing our second themed area here in Coaster Monkey Studios theme park. CM Studios, I think that's what we're going to call the park itself. Maybe CM Studios Presents. I don't know. What do you guys think? CM Studios Presents blank. What is the name of this park? Put it down in the comments below. I'm going to leave that one open for a while. But so would definitely love to hear that one. Coming in our next video, we actually have some names for some rides, which is going to be pretty cool as we go forward. But let's get into this video here. So as you can see, here I am building out the last of the entrance area when you first walk into the zone. And one of my favorite things to do, like I was saying in one of our previous videos here, is covering up the edges of the water with the shrubbery and kind of giving some really good foliage all the way around, breaking that very solid, sharp edge and getting rid of that as we are moving forward with the decorating around the river and the lake. I think what's really important to remember here is that as we're kind of dividing out our areas, when we have the berm that goes up, we want to make sure that it's very clear definition between spaces, between biomes, if you will. And that's what we're doing here with the monorail track, or bright pink monorail track. If you haven't caught the video on that station that we built out, you can catch that in one of our previous episodes. But yeah, I mean, it looks like, we're moving along pretty well here. One side of that biome, as you can see, it's very foresty with that big cedar or oak tree. And on this side, it's very tropical forest or tropical island-esque. Think very Pirates of the Caribbean. I want you to kind of move back into that mindset of, where the pirate island was. And that's kind of what we're recreating here. And that's the intention anyway. The large rocky cliffs and the palm trees and palms all over the place. Now, as far as this beach edge goes, I don't know how I feel about it. I may want to put some foliage around it. I'm not sure. Definitely around all the rocks, though. I'm going to have foliage and greenery, make it look like seaweed. I think that's a really good direction to go there. But yeah, so we're just building this out. One of the great parts about this video is really get into not only separating the zone out, but building out all the buildings and everything around the station, for the station, into that first entry walkway. And you're going to see kind of what that looks like. It looks pretty dope, actually. In the final picture, you'll see that in our thumbnail. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about industry business. So going back into that Dorney Park accidental slip / leak, if you will. We got a interesting tidbit from today. Someone posted on YouTube, and if I could remember the person that posted it, but someone posted on YouTube that they're going to be removing Possessed. How horrible is that? That kind of kills me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Possessed is a great ride, and I'm thinking most likely to be the one that's getting moved up to Great Escape, or I'm sorry, not Great Escape, why can't I remember the name of the park now? See? Slipping my brain. But yeah, so they're going to be putting in this gravity group switchback, and they're going to be taking away Possessed. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I think that's kind of horrible, personally. Possessed is a great ride. I think it's a definite loss for the park for them to get rid of it. I don't understand why they can't keep the two rides, why they have to get rid of one. I mean, they've only got, right now, with Possessed, 4, 5 coasters. So they're going to keep the park at only 5 coasters. I find that very, very low level. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make sense. But it is what it is. Let's talk a little bit about the video now, as we're moving back in our video. Building out our first ride when we first walk in. We built out this diamond ride. You think of pirates, you think of like stealing treasures. This is like a treasure ride, right? Rawr, rawr, our treasure. Rawr. So we have that built in, and then we're gonna throw up a do not enter sign here. Just we can close off that front area because we haven't really thought out or even built out the back area of the ride yet. But the statistics on the ride really do skyrocket. You know, once we have it open and we get people on it, and have all of this section built out, it's actually really cool. One thing you're going to see here is when I'm placing the the maintenance guys, the guys that sweep up all the vomit, as well as the maintenance guys who are fixing the rides. The biggest thing you'll notice is that I have their pathways. So for the guys who fix the rides, I build out the pathway, their work path, so the blue squares. I build it out for both the entryway and the exit because they need to get up both sides. Why they need to get up both sides, I don't know. But if you don't have that built out, your rides won't get fixed. And then I've also built out our cleaner guys, our cleaning guys. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind about them is you want to go no further than about 6 4x4 squares, and anything more than 6 4x4 squares, depending on the volume of people. Now, this park is going to hit 10,000 people easily. So, with the amount of people, you know, anything more than 6, our cleaners can't get to it fast enough. So, it's something to think about when you're building out your parks. But yeah, so we're building out a really quick food outlet. We're going to have an actual restaurant in this area as well at a later time once we build out the section next to the mountain there that goes up off the launch. But I wanted this main walkway here to be, you know, again, a full immersion or engulf into the city. Now, this is a great trick. I was so excited to teach you guys. So whenever you have laggers, you see all of those laggers there on that square? That happened because we opened up the coaster and all of them want to get on the coaster. So what I do is I build an underground pathway. And obviously I set that up with a cleaner as well. And this underground pathway is what's going to relieve all the laggers. And there's going to be a number of underground pathways we're going to build throughout this park. And what that's going to do is that's going to relieve the laggers all over the place, which is actually so much better. It really does save, to be frank with you. And I believe, yep, here we are. So now you're going to watch all these laggers walk in and boom, that park rating is going to skyrocket again because they're all able to get to where they want to go. And obviously putting in all the benches, and we're going to come back, we're going to put in more benches, we're going to put in more garbage cans, we're going to put in lampposts as well, so you'll see all that. But look at all those people, oh my goodness, like the whole park is there. Alright, now here I am just throwing up some borders around the walkway, and that's what the end border is going to be. I didn't exactly know what direction I was going to go with the buildings yet, but I actually like the final product here, and you're going to see that shortly. This is an entryway building up to the right. I feel like we could probably throw maybe a shop or two inside of here. I think that's something I'll actually come back and do, to be honest with you. I think that would be cool. So we haven't put up any souvenir stalls yet. All right, this is great. So on this side here, you know, when you're walking over that entryway bridge, you'll go up to the left, you're going to see the drop of the coaster, and then you're going to see this building here on the beach. And what I think is awesome here is that when we build out the section, we create this bridge that goes over between the two buildings. And what that does is it helps increase that ride excitement level. Yeah, look at that. I love that. When you have the walkway that goes over, it's actually pretty cool. So speaking of, you know, building new things, announced or leaked today, yesterday actually, not 24 hours ago, Six Flags Magic Mountain is getting a Jersey Devil clone. So it's interesting that they actually put the plans in now this early, and Jersey Devil hasn't even been built yet. So it's pretty cool. It's a little bit longer of a track length. They're using the old Riddler station. So I'm curious to know what the name of this coaster is going to be. It might be the Riddler again, who knows? But it's going to be a Raptor clone of the Jersey Devil. It's going to be a little bit longer. There's a turnaround section in the back with an overbank turn. So it's going to be pretty dope. It looks at, it's going to go over their flume ride. It's going to go around and back over to another ride. Kind of lapping over itself just like Jersey Devil does. So pretty awesome idea, in my opinion. Again, you know, being a national chain, you know, anybody who's upset about this, and yeah, you know what, they're gonna be clones in a national chain. You know, have one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. I mean, I would totally do it. I personally think putting one north and south like they did, this is RMC obviously, with Wonder Woman and with the Railblazer, you know, it's kind of spreading the Raptors around the country in all four corners. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I wonder if manufacturers, coaster manufacturing companies, they decide, you know, when a coaster park comes to them and asks them, hey, you know, I want to build XYZ coaster, if they have, you know, say in where this coaster is going to be built to help spread the wealth, if you will. I'm curious if that's a thing. I don't know, from a manufacturer standpoint, I almost feel like it should be, right? So this way your coasters don't dominate one entire corner of the world, but who knows? Anyway, moving on, back to the build here. So we built a fun little walkway here, and again, just like we did in our previous area with some actors, entertainers, to give like a really good vibe coming in. And then as we're building out this mountain on this side, like I love the way this looks. Like, look at that overarching walkway that goes over the bottom of the drop there, going into that turn. And here we are just building out some more buildings wrapping around. And again, think very Pirates of the Caribbean. When we're on that pirate island, right? We've got all these houses and buildings built on the side of this giant, you know, terrain. Oh, this is pretty cool. So I decided at this point, you know, it looked cool, but I feel like it needed more. So I built a massive waterfall that goes down this whole side. So as you shoot up and over, you know, you're shooting out of this waterfall, at the top of this waterfall, which is pretty cool. The name of this coaster, it's going to be something Kraken-esque. So think, again, you know, you're doing Pirates of the Caribbean, you're playing Pirates of the Caribbean, and you know, there's this giant Kraken under the water. Arr! You know, that's what we're going for here. This coaster is going to be a Kraken ride, or a giant octopus. I haven't figured out the name yet. It's something to that effect. But as soon as I know, you'll know. And again, with the amount of twisting and turning track, and then going in and out of the water, you know, with the shipwrecked ships, you know, it just makes sense for it to be a Kraken ride, or some type of a sea squid ride. So he's debating on doing little pools of water here as it went down, but I couldn't get the heights to work, and in all honesty, I was being a little lazy and didn't want to build it out. Oh, excuse me. All right, so we're throwing just some trees up here. Obviously, these trees aren't going to stay because, you know, this is going to be the location of our hotel that's going to wrap on either side of this building here, or this, sorry, the launch track there. So those trees are temporary. But I do build out a couple more buildings here just around the coaster on this side of the track here. I was debating on doing another walkway across over here, but I figured to do a nice little balcony there would be pretty cool. And again, if this was like, you know, let's say a restaurant or something you're able to go into, maybe you should have balcony as the coaster flies past. You know, and you'll see I zoom out a lot. And again, the whole idea of me zooming out is to kind of get that perspective, right? What does the perspective look like from a guest standpoint? You know, what is the guest seeing? you know, and does everything make sense? Is it balanced? I think balance is the key component here. Make sure you're not doing too much in one area, not much in another. It throws it all off whack, off balance, right? It makes it look, I don't know, it just makes it look very haphazard. So what I'm doing for this point here is I'm building out the walkway that goes over in our main area. And this is gonna be like a massive hotel. It's gonna cover up our diamond ride, and that is gonna be more or less where, you know, the queue is gonna go inside. The queue actually wraps around the back of the building, which I think is cool, and I wind up taking down that wall there that you see next to the track and putting up some netting, which is actually pretty fun idea, a little variation so it doesn't look too repetitive. Now here we go with that issue that happens to me all the time. Now watch. That roof is floating in midair. And I had to take it away. So you want to make sure that you're just, you know, making sure you're locking your pieces in the right place. I had to double check this like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, is it right? Is it right? I think it is. I don't know. Yes, our diamond ride that's now wrapped up in there. Again, it's hidden, but that's the whole idea, right? We want to have different types of sceneries. It helps increase our overall excitement rating, especially when you have your guests waiting inside of, you know, different buildings for queues, or have different scenery pieces around your queue. It helps increase your overall ride excitement rating. The other thing you'll notice is that my queues on my rides tend to wrap around the track or inside or near the track to help increase that excitement rating as well. As I was debating on putting another pub up, but I was like, you know what, no. I turned this whole area here into a little kind of walking open area with like scenery and stuff. I make it very, very light, very open, because I felt like we were closing everything in. I didn't want to do that for this portion here. I was debating on changing the color of the track there for the main part of the ride, but for the station, but I was like, you know what, let me not. And I wound up covering the whole station around. Now I like the idea of the yellow and the brown tarp here, or canvas roofing, I should say. It gives a really fun feeling. And again, you know, a very open feeling, right? That's really what we wanted to go after there. Now, even though this particular portion of the walkway was open, I did want to cover it up partially. I didn't want it to feel too left out, if you will, as far as building out the rest of the area. The rest of the area is so built up. I felt like that was a little bit off. All right, I used the corrugated steel for this. Now, I know corrugated steel doesn't really fit in with this particular theme, but again, the corrugated steel, the intention of this was just to give a nice solid base to work with so I could build around it. Excuse me. All right, we throw in another pub here, which, again, I think now this is the right place for the pub, right? So as the guests are walking through and they're walking on the queue to the ride, they're walking past these particular items here, these themed items. And what I love, like if you look up in the top left-hand corner, I've got 1,600 guests, but 100% rating. My guests are loving my park. So super excited about that. And that's what all of this theming does. It really does build that park rating to that 100% level. Think very Disney. When you're in Disney, you're so engulfed by the theme and what's around you that you are, you're ecstatic, right? And that's what this creates. This creates that environment, that vibe. And here we are building out that netted wall, like I was saying. And again, we don't see barely any of this netted wall. But again, from a guest perspective, it's a pretty cool setup. I don't know if I want to cover up either the train on the brake run there. I was debating it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I cover up the brake run? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. Excuse me. Our ride's lost popularity quickly, huh? I mean, it has been 2 years since we built it. I feel like I'm looking at Bizarro at Great Adventure. I mean, such a great ride. For any of you that don't know, Medusa built back in, oh my God, 1999 was it? Or 2000, oh my goodness. You guys are gonna kill me on my stats. But yeah, Medusa, when it was built, I wanna say in 1999. I may be completely wrong on that one. If I am, I know you guys are gonna tell me. But yeah, they changed it to Bizarro. A great floorless coaster by B&M. Absolutely love the ride. But yeah, they changed its theming and it's just so boring now. I mean, I love the ride, but no one goes on it. I feel like it needs a good refurb, nice paint job. Let's change that sucker up a little bit. My opinion, IMO. But yeah, no one ever waits online for it anymore. If there's a line that's longer than 10 minutes, people skip it. Oh, excuse me. Get some water. So here we are building out the rest of the station here. And again, we got another nice balcony. And as we build up all the buildings up the side of this, mounted on the right-hand side here that wraps around at the launch, in the future, you're going to see how they correspond really well. There's a really nice flow to it. And I think that's going to be our end game, I think, for that there. Built out some canvas roofs here for the walkway going up into the station, again, to keep that flow consistent with the theme. And here, again, very open. I wanted it to feel, threw up some palm trees, some theming, kept it super light because there's so much going on already. I wanted to have that open feeling. And, again, why would I want to put the people inside of theming when, here you are standing underneath this massive element, this top hat element. But that's more or less it. That's our build. We're getting to the end of our video. So don't forget, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and obviously YouTube, Coaster Monkey Studios. Thanks so much for this video and catch you guys next time. Ciao.